How's it going, CJ?
Good morning, William. How are you?
Good, good. It's good evening for me. It's 5 o'clock here in Canada, so um,
That's it.
yeah, just buzzing from the game today. Absolutely, it was fantastic to watch today. So
Yeah, we've been so excited to see Olympiakos back in action. See football back in action. I know we've had the Euros, but I mean, it's not quite the same. It's not
not
quite the
without
same as club
Greece
football.
is what
No
it is.
grace in there. So what do you do, huh?
But yeah, everybody, welcome to Thrylos Global. We're finally back. It's been a while for me. I know that. How
Yeah,
you doing, CJ? You good?
yeah, doing good,
Yeah,
man. Good
yeah,
to
it's
be
good.
back on the show.
Mm,
Yeah, we've been itching to get back. Almost forgot how to do this. But
mm,
it's good to have you back as well. I know with the time difference, it's a bit of a hump in the road, but luckily today Olympiakos managed to play on the weekend, not on the Monday,
mm,
so it's good. At least in Australia on a Monday. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, it was a long hiatus for me. As you guys can see, I've moved. A lot of other stuff that's been happening, career change, stuff like that. It's just been hectic. So I'm happy to be back on the show, man. Like I love talking about this team, especially the team this year, man. Like it looks very promising right off the bat. So yeah, I'm excited to jump in and get into this game with it.
Yeah, for sure, man. We're
Mhm.
happy to have you back, and yeah, we're definitely excited to dig into it. So, I think we'll just jump in on it. So, Olympiakos 2-0 victorious over Volos today. So, I'll just start with the starting lineup, and William
Mm.
will just talk about that and our thoughts. So, up front, not up front, at back. Sorry, we had Solakis. Then in defense, Rodinei, Biancone, Pirola, Ortega. In the mids, Doi, Esse, Martins, Chiquinho, Velde. And up front, we had our debut, 17-year-old Costulas.
Yeah.
That was a very interesting one. And on that, it was very good to see that Mediliba is keeping his word and he is bringing in the young guns to have a go. Because he did say he wants to bring in some younger players, bring them up, have a go. Um, but just your initial thoughts, William, on the entire lineup. What do you reckon?
It's given it's the start of the season, I didn't mind it. It's against Volos. It's not it's not a derby or anything. So to put Costulas up top, I didn't mind it at all. There's gonna be some nerves. He's a 17-year-old kid, right? Like
Hmm.
he's a young guy and he's making his debut for a club that just won the youth league, just won the conference league. It's a lot of pressure. So I'm hoping that all of us as fans can take our time with this guy, right? Like we know what he can do. I have a feeling he can prove it at this level as well, equally as much as he did at the youth level. So, in terms of him, absolutely, I'm willing to give time to, even if he starts a couple others, Galither or whoever, those teams. I feel like if he can bang in a couple of goals there, it gets confidence going, and we can really get him firing. Other than that, man, Martin's fantastic game today. Loved him. I want to see more of the Martins Chiquinho Velde combination. Um, I thought it was going to be better than it was today, but first game is a bit of rust, so I'm completely understanding of that. So I'm excited for that midfield. Fantastic work from the midfield. Heze and Ndoye, I thought, started the game off brilliantly. Ndoye was winning the ball back. I think that's so important in the modern game is winning the ball. Like when we lose it, and they're playing the ball around and they were going long a lot. And Doy and Pirola especially were winning the ball back like crazy, and retaining the ball is a huge part of the game. So I'm happy with that. Ortega, I was a little bit shaky for me. I thought he made a couple errors that could have been costly, but weren't. Um, and Rodinei, the usual from him. Solakis, a good game. Pirola, fantastic in the back. Wow, I like him. He's a good player. know,
Yeah,
how do you say? It's like a no nonsense. Like he just like if there's a threat, he takes care of it. That's his first thought in his head. We need defenders like that. You know, every team's got one. We didn't have them last year. We won the conference without one, but I'm excited to see what he can do this year for sure. You want to give your thoughts on the lineup?
well, I think you hit the nail on the head there, William, with everything. Rodney just is so good to watch.
Yes.
I think he's the best right back we've had, if not in a very, very long time. Um, Birola as well had a pretty good game. Can't say the same for Biancone. I mean, it was pretty solid. It was pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie. But I think for now we're going to be seeing Ratos and Birola as our main two centre backs. So we're eager for Ratos to get back in as well. Doy and Esse, my God, nothing was getting past them today. Doy as well. You know, I think he's found his position. But it's also good that we can have him at the centre backs if we have to. But I think he's a CDM man. He should not be.
I do like that Mendilibar did that. Sorry to cut you off, but
No, you're right.
I like that he slid Ndoye back into the defense and then plugged in who was it?
Stamenic. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll get into the subs in a second.
Yeah. But yeah, no, definitely that Doy's a bit versatile there as well. And even Doy when he went back at centre back, he was cleaning house. So
Yeah.
I mean, he's on fire. Martins, razzle dazzle. Oh, I love to see it. Love to see it. We've been. I know we've. I think Olympiakos is still trying to get Podence in there, but it's so good to see that
Played today.
we have a few more players like that as well. The link up between him and Chiquinho and Verde, it was kind of working for a bit, but out of the three, I'm not going to lie, Verde wasn't on point today. Maybe it's first game jitters, a bit rust. Like he's been looking good, really good in the friendly, so we know he's a quality player. Maybe just had a bad day, didn't find his footing. So I'm not gonna. You can't go too hard on a player first game. Gostulas as well. His off the ball movement was actually pretty good. Just every time he got the ball, he kept losing it. But he is 17 years old. He can't judge. What were we doing at 17?
Exactly. But I did like that. Like when Volos keeper when he got the ball, Gostulas, I don't even think it took him a half a second to dart at him, and he almost won the ball back. Could have easily put one in the back of the net. Unlucky bounce for him, but yeah, 100%.
And it's not FIFA, man. Like you can't expect him to score a hat trick on a debut at 17. But
yeah, absolutely.
Couple more games, like you said. If we see him against Galifea, a couple cup games, I think if Medili Bar follows this sort of lineups against the bottom, below the 6 sort of teams, put out the young guns. Like I'd love to see what was his name?
Bakulas.
Yes, Bakulas. Yeah.
Yes, we have Bakulas and Muzakidis who can play midfield.
Yeah, exactly. So Chiquinho as well. I got to say that I'm not targeting Chiquinho, obviously. I'm talking about the whole game. I felt like there were moments, or maybe Olympiakos fans are just used to it. We were kind of missing that Fortunis influence. But maybe, obviously, that's still something they're going to work on. Overall, it wasn't a stellar, amazing performance. It was just your typical clean-up house sort of performance against a mediocre to bottom team. So can't really complain about it. They got a red card as well.
Can we acknowledge that? What was that guy thinking?
Yeah, dude. Look, whether there was a lot of contact on the second yellow, I don't know.
Yeah, but you can't go studs up. Why are you going in studs up when you already have a yellow card? Man? That's illogical. But
exactly. But
It's not on our team.
I hate Volos, so I don't give a crap. Sucked in.
You know what? It was nice to see the Olympiakos support in Volos. It was fantastic.
That was a home game for
Absolutely.
Olympiakos.
In
Are
a
they,
much lesser of a stadium, though.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Are there any Volos fans in Greece? Like,
there must be some.
it has to be, but
Some.
that was all Olympiakos. So it was good to see.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're going to the subs now. So I just lost my lineup here. So we saw Elkabi, Stamenic, Masuras, and Yaremchuk eventually come on. And it was interesting to see Stamenic come on. My God, what a monster of a guy. He's massive, dude.
I was watching it through a screen and I was scared of the guy, man.
Yeah.
His first action of the game, he went through a guy and won the ball. I was so shocked, like by his.
Wasn't the foul caught against him, but it was like clear ball, but he still slid into the guy. There was one point.
Yeah, I remember that. Mm-hmm.
Yaremchuk as well, massive bloke.
Yeah,
he's big, man. Far out.
You know, he looked like he could dribble the ball a bit. Yaremchuk, I was kind of surprised the way he kind of like pulled it back and set it up for himself to take a shot. I can't remember if he took the shot or not.
Yeah, I do remember that.
He would have fired it, but
wasn't a good shot. But
no,
we're still yet to see much of him. But
yeah, he came on in the 81st minute.
Yeah, that's right. So waiting to see more from him, and obviously Elkabi missed a good opportunity, but I think the defender got a touch on it. I couldn't tell.
I thought he did. I can't quite like picture it clear in my head, but
yeah. But it was good to see obviously Elkabi come on. He's Aston Villa's daddy.
Yes. Well, he's become an icon of this club, just based on what he did last year, right? Some people they take years to become icons of this club. Elkabi did it in 1 year, really. Well, he did it in less than that. He did it in 6 months.
Exactly. So he set the bar for himself. So we're hoping for more things from him this season. And Masuras as well, man. Beautiful goal, left foot volley. Can't ask for anything more.
Yeah, it was fantastic. We'll do that right now. We'll go through the goals. If you want to go through, I'll go through the first one. It was a great play down the wing. Rodinei and Martins linking up. It was a neat little pass right into the box for Rodinei, and he slotted home with his left foot, which is not his favorite foot. It's a fantastic goal. Great play. I like the link-up play that we're seeing from Martins and Rodinei, because last year when we had Fortunis, it was mainly him and Rodinei, but now that we have Martins and he's healthy, that could be huge. Like he could wind up being a very, very, very vital piece for us. So I'm hoping to see more of that.
Definitely.
And you want to go through the second?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Just on what you said, it's so good that we'd be able to have Martins in Europe.
Mm-hmm. So,
there was a point last year where we needed someone like him.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely good to see that link up. And the second goal, you can't complain with it, to be honest. I just want to get who crossed it. I cannot remember. It may have been.
I think it was Martins.
No, because he assisted. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Someone was on the right.
It doesn't even say who assisted it here on Footmob.
That's what I'm trying to find. It says 1 assist for Martins.
Maybe there's like a deflection or a change of direction from one of the defenders or something. But
oh, you know what? Because Masuras. Oh, you know what? It doesn't matter. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Oh
well. We'll move on. Obviously a bit of play down on the right. Masuras with a deep run. Obviously, the Volos players have pushed up to try and get an attack. They've been caught out. Nice cross. Masuras' first time volley with his left foot. Took a bit of a deflection off the defender. But that's all she wrote. 2-0. Masuras on the board. Rodinei on the board. can't ask for anything better. And Rodonet's hit was so clean, so clean.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good to see.
I love I love what Rodonei can do with the ball.
Yeah,
I think human Martins, they're so gifted with the ball at their feet. They constantly need to be fed, you know.
yeah, for sure.
So a lot of the times, sorry, I'm getting into tactics here for a second,
No, that's
but a lot of the times in preseason, when I was watching, like early as the Ajax game, late as the Roma game, we were seeing a combination play a bit further from our 18-yard box. It was like in on the byline or the sidelines there. We'd see like a 1-2 and then a clearance up, but more of like a through ball. And we saw that a few times today where Velde was trying to get on the end of it, Masuras was trying to get on the end of it, and it would be from like a Rodinei, Biancon or a Rodinei Stamenic or whoever it was, but they'd do a little give and go, and then they'd give a through ball to Masuras. And if we can consistently get somebody on the end of those balls and we can create plays that way, that's equally as effective as going up the line with Rodinei. And it saves their energy because Rodinei flying up and down the wing the whole game, 90 minutes, 30 games out of the year, that's a lot for a player. It's going to take a toll on him. Thankfully, we have Costinha, but just those patterns of play, I love to watch it. It's very fluid, but consistently direct. So I thought that was a great takeaway from the game. What did you notice in terms of like passing and how we were building up?
I've noticed this game, especially Chiquinho getting way more involved. Obviously, now with Fortunis out, we're going to be looking for that main playmaker. So, for me personally, I felt like Chiquinho was a bit more versatile on the ball, a bit more agile, turning in and out, trying to find those balls behind. A lot of the times, though, Velde was coming up a bit short. That's probably why he came out. But I just want to talk about that link up with Rodinei and Martins, because there was an interview recently done with Rodinei, and he was saying how much he loves to attack. Like, he just wants to go up all the time. So I think their link up's going to be lethal this year, and we just saw the potential of it this game.
Yeah.
But it was good to see as well. SA cleaning up house. He was trying to be a bit more vocal on the ball as well. So all round, it was it's just a positive game. Obviously, there are negatives to take from it, but we don't need to go into that today. Who else? Kostulas as well, like I said, great off the ball movement. Winning the ball as well, it was just the passing.
In the air, too.
In the air as well.
He was getting his head on the ball in the air. I don't know what direction he was trying to go, but regardless, if you can win the ball in the air against defenders who are bigger and taller than you, that's a good sign. The direction will come with time.
For sure. For sure, man. Yeah. But yeah, look, Chiquinho for me today was massive improvement from last season. Or not improvement, so to speak, more a different type of player. And I think with a couple games like that, we're soon going to be feeling like that Fortunis sort of influence isn't missing. Today it was kind of there. I think give him a few weeks, month or two, maybe even, we're not going to be feeling that. I think there's something there.
Yeah.
There's not much to say as well. Really, I think that it was just such a good. It was interesting to see.
I think what Mendilibar did today was pretty evident. He wanted players to play certain roles, right? So, like you said, Chiquinho, he's going to be a bit in a different role, right? Obviously, we brought in Costinha, and you were talking about the Martins and Rodinei link-up. I would not be surprised if we see Rodinei further up the field, Costinha at the right back position, just so that Rodinei can contribute more offensively. He's so good defensively as well. He's a decent one-on-one defender, but he's very fast and he can recover the ball pretty well. Um, but that like offensively, you can't beat that. So I could see him playing further up the pitch in other games, but
Sure.
the, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, man.
Yeah.
And it'll be very interesting to see Europe once it comes up, our
Mm,
Europa League campaign, because as we all know, Mediliba is in the past hasn't had the greatest of success in league competition. His success has mostly come from European competition. So I'm very interested to see how these players are going to pull up in Europe because
mm,
obviously the mentality is very, very different. Um, Especially, is Rodinei going to be as attacking? We know he is going to be attacking, but today, man, you could have fooled me. He would have been a right wing.
yeah,
He was up there the whole time,
yeah.
absolutely gunning it. And I want to dig into Birola actually for a little bit because
Yes.
from what I
Yes.
saw in preseason, he didn't look great. He didn't look great, and I saw a few people online, saying that we should still try and get a centre back, try and bring Garmo, who also is not in favour at Porto. So if
Well,
I could get him back, I would. But today's game with Birola, man, he's young, he's strong, good in the air as well, and he has a bit of pace on him as well.
absolutely. There was a 1v1 where the ball was slipped in behind him and he caught up immediately
Yeah,
and then played it. I think it was right to Rodinei or it was to the other center back. But
yeah,
when I was watching Pirola, so but before he came, when I saw what this guy was capable of, he is not a risk taker on the ball.
that's right.
That's not him. He's going to play it to Rezos, he's going to play it to Ortega, he's going to play it to Rodinei, and then they're going to build the play up. Pirola will not be that guy.
Yeah,
But that didn't necessarily mean the end of the world for Salernitana, right? They had three in the back, and he was very solid in majority of the games. He's great again, picking the ball back up, winning loose balls, an aerial threat, an absolute beast in the air. So those are all things that I saw before he came. So you want to tell us a bit about what we saw today, and then I'll run through some stats here for you.
yeah, man. Pretty much what we said. Just he's sort of a clean sweep sort of centre back. No mucking around. Take an easy option. I think we obviously saw Biancone more of the ball playing centre back. At least that's what he was trying to um, implement, and that's what you want out of a centre back duo. You need one that can clean house, one that can move the ball up. Like the last couple of seasons, we've had defenders where it's been all clean up, hoof the ball out, like the duo of like Socrates and Ba,
I
whoever
think it
he.
was I think it was Ndoye.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's the year that Ndoye made that breakout under Michel.
Okay, well there you
Um,
go. Um,
so it could be that.
yeah, but I mean, I think Retsos. No, I think Retsos is more of a ball playing centre back. So I think that Birola. I'm excited to see that Birola and Retsos duo. I think that's going to be very interesting. But staying on Birola, dude, he was solid. It was just solid. I think a lot of pressure was on him. Obviously, now that David Carmo's on there, it seems like he's managed to just not take any pressure. He's, he's just gone in with a clean conscience, played his football, packed up, went home, off to
Yeah,
the next game. I get that vibe from him. He's just no
yeah,
mucker sort of guy.
yeah.
Yeah, takes the easy pass to the wing backs. He doesn't seem like he's going to do something stupid like Frier, He's no frier, you know.
I didn't think we were allowed to say that in this community, but
Oh, we're bringing it back.
no. A lot of people when it was rumored that Carmo, we're not going to get him, right. A lot of
Yeah.
people were worried about the calming presence in the back. I don't think we have to worry if this is what we're going to see from Pirola again. It's the first game and it's against Volos and whatever, right? It doesn't matter. Regardless, he was calm in the back. And we didn't give anything dumb away. We didn't make any mistakes aside from Ortega, who we're going to touch on later. But I'm not worrying. So that's a sign because I'm usually worrying with this team. So I'm happy with Pirola's performance. Absolutely.
That's it, man. He's passed the vibe check. He's just very calm, cool, collected.
I have some stats here for Pirola. All right.
Let's hear him.
So he had 82% pass accuracy. All right. He was 31 for 38. Nice. And he had a chance created from center back. No idea how, but he did. So it says here he had 49 touches, 1 in the opposition box, I'm sure, off a loose ball. He had 2 passes into the final third. These are his attacking stats. We'll get to his defending in a second. But long ball wise, they were not accurate. He was 25%. But he attempted 3 tackles and won 1.
Doesn't feel
Foot mob tends to I don't know, kind of fabricate. Well, not fabricate, but it's not clear when they're trying to tackle, so they just kind of add it anyway. But he had 5 clearances and a block, a couple headed clearances, I think two, 1 interception and 2 recoveries, and then he was 75% from ground duels and 60% on aerial duels. So not too bad. Only 1 foul committed the whole game. That's fantastic for a center back that does majority of the defending. You can't say the same about Biancone, but Biancone's got a different role than him. So all in all, like Pirola, not a bad game. I know the numbers. It's a center back's numbers. They're not flashy, but
look, I mean, with those numbers, that just says you've had a solid clean-up game, no muck around. Get it out. 3 out of 4 ground duels won. Whatever FOTMOB consider ground duel, it could have been more, could be less. Who knows? But sometimes people get a bit too caught up with stats and numbers. They don't always justify what's happened in the game. So from what we saw, I think I speak from both of us. He had a great game.
He had a great game.
Can't complain.
Honestly. To only commit 1 foul in 90 minutes, not too bad. Numerous center backs that we've had over the past few years commit 3 to 4 in a game, right? This guy might not commit 2 fouls, 1 foul next game. Who knows? That's really solid that he only, he kept the. He didn't take too many unnecessary chances. I like that. I like the safety of him in the back. So, like you said, no mucking around. He clocked in, did his job, and clocked out. So
that's it, man. Yeah. And it'll be good to see Retsos with him to have that balance. One a bit more.
It's gonna be
exciting on the ball. Obviously, we're talking Retsos after a concussion, not
yes.
So
I think it was very surprising last year from Retsos when we saw him making crunching tackles. This guy was taking people out at times. A center forward would feel so safe getting the ball. All of a sudden, Retsos comes barreling through. Taking them out, getting the ball, playing it wide. I'm like, where the hell? So to see them two together.
I'm sure you watched the final, but do you remember Retsos getting that concussion?
I do. I remember
Yeah.
him falling right over with a big goose egg on his head.
Yep. And
I'll,
yeah, it turned into Prime Maldini after that hit
yeah.
because
I was gonna do this at the beginning, but I'm gonna do it at the end. I'll talk a bit about my conference league experience.
yeah,
I haven't been on here in a while, so I got to
yeah, for
talk a bit
sure,
about
man,
it.
for
So,
sure, for
mhm.
sure.
But
Um,
who you want to talk about next?
I know you wanted to touch up on Ortega.
Yes.
Um,
Listen,
yeah,
listen,
so
listen. Here are my overall thoughts on the guy. Not today, not yesterday, not conference league final today or
yeah,
overall. Okay,
yeah,
he is such a frustrating player because he's so talented and he's got all the skills that a left back should possess. He is missing one thing though, and it's like some sort of consistency or stability. Um, he he lacks confidence. It looks like he stumbles over the ball. I'm stumbling over my words, but he stumbles over the ball, or he'll forget to look over his shoulder before making a pass or whatever it is. But he's so frustrating because he is talented. We bought him for a good fee. Okay, we didn't send 500K to Argentina and say, "Yeah, thank you." No, this is what 3 or 4 million for this guy.
I think it was 5. I might be wrong.
Ooh,
It might have been 5. I'm not sure though.
so for me, I would bring Richards back and I would start playing Richards to get this
Really?
guy worried and get this guy like, oh crap, I need to start playing to prove to this guy that I am the left back because he can be the left back. It's just a matter of him gaining confidence and him getting into a rhythm where he can day in day out perform the way he does when he's at his absolute peak. Like conference league, we saw it quite a
Yeah.
bit, especially before he got injured. But um, yeah, what are your thoughts today on Ortega?
It's hard for me to not bring in last season Ortega because I'm not gonna lie. It's not the first time he's performed like this. Um, he had like today. He had those moments where I don't know if you remember. He was on the left, somehow got around the defender, got into the box, and threatened and had a unsuccessful cross. But regardless, he managed to
Mm,
get around the defender, get into a threatening position. That's what you want to see from him.
yes.
That's what we didn't see in Drapchuk, so we didn't see that since
Yeah.
Tsimikas as well. So we have a left back that has that in his locker.
Mm,
Uh, I think that was like for me personally, like he's performed like that before, and I feel like we just sort of put up with it because of what he can do when he's on his game, and in
yeah.
Europe last season as well. Like he was on his game every after the Europa League, he was on his game every game in the Conference League. In the league, though, not so much. Towards the end of the season, he definitely was. So I don't know. Maybe he's just that guy that if he doesn't play for a while, he's a bit shit.
So let me ask you this, because our left backs right now are Ortega and Apostolopoulos, and he's just a young kid. Ortega's got a bit more experience. He's still pretty young, but like, should we be looking for a left back here? I'm convinced Richards should come back. I think
I
it'll depend on the situation over at Forest, but
I'm with you on that, man.
uh,
I wanted to keep Richards. I thought not to say Apostolopoulos. Sorry, is that his name? Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
bit of a mouthful.
That's a Greek
Not
name.
not like obviously he's young, up and coming.
Yeah.
But you need that one. You need like a player with that's a bit older, a bit more
Mm,
experience as well. That has had more game time. Someone that can challenge you in training as well for your
yes.
position. You
I
need
think that's what Ortega needs. He's very comfortable in the left back spot because he knows there's no one else to fill that role. So
yeah,
if he feels a bit of pressure from either Apostolopoulos, who I don't know if he's ready, maybe a loan spell and then come back, or we get Richards in and those two can kind of battle it out for that left back spot. That could be key. that could get the best out of Ortega. Why would you not do it? You know what I mean?
100%. Because don't forget, for so long we had Repchuk and we had no one else.
Yes.
We played him the most out of any player
Yeah.
in the season he was there, and I think the second last one. I might be wrong on that one, but that guy played every freaking game. And you had Andrutsos, he was more on the right back, but always falling in and out of favor.
I'm not gonna get into Andrutsos, man.
No,
I feel so bad for the guy.
I do too.
Yeah.
My teams did that to a couple of players, unfortunately.
What
But
a shame.
yeah, man, I really don't know. We should have kept Richards. Just Marinaki, just put the money from the right pocket into the left. You own both the clubs. Just make it happen.
No.
That's it. There's not much more to say, really.
Yeah.
Like you can say the same for Ortega as we can with Velde. First game.
Yeah.
Give it a bit of time.
Yeah, Velde. The difference between like Velde's performance and Costula's performance, and then Ortega was here for a year last year. He was here for the entire year, so he should be quite not settled. Nothing about last season was settling, but except for the final.
Yeah.
But he's been here for a year. He's getting caught up with the Greek culture and the Greek Super League, and I think he'll be better this year. And if he's not, we're gonna have to move on from him.
Yeah,
but he's got to show us.
I mean, maybe the link up between Velde and Ortega wasn't maybe working, and maybe they made each other look worse than what it was.
Yeah, maybe.
Like I said, what I think Ortega misperformed a few times last season as well. So
I wonder if he. Sorry, I hate to cut you off, but
No.
I wonder if Mendilibar put Martins on the right and Velde on the left because he's thinking ahead for Potence. Like Potence on the left, Martins on the right. Personally, if we don't get Potence, I'd like to see Martins on the right. He's a right-footed player, or on the left, sorry, because he's a right-footed player. He can cut in, he can take a shot because he does have a nice shot. That way, we can isolate Martins on the left-hand side because he's better at going at defenders.
Well, you know what, Will? After seeing the link up with him and Rodinei,
that's the problem. That's the problem. They are so good together, but
yeah, I don't know
it's always
happening with Podence. I don't know.
It's been dragging on, and he played today.
He showed up for Wolves. We know he doesn't want to be there. You don't buy a house in Glyfather and say, I love Wolverhampton. Like, I would hate to play for Wolves.
Someone did that, and then they didn't return. They bought a house in Greece, and they didn't return.
I'm not sure, but I do know who was that coach, Martinez, last season, bought a house in Greece. And he was rented, I can't remember. He was still staying in Greece after he got sacked. We'll go into transfer talk a bit soon.
Yeah, we do. We have to talk about that
because I think, is there anything else to really talk about in the game?
Let's see. I think there was one or two other things. I want to talk about the midfield just briefly. I think midfield is going to be our strongest position this year, just based off this first game, because for me, Ndoye was not a starter. Stamenic is not the starter. I think it's Garcia. I think Garcia is a starter, right? I think he was brought in to kind of be the metronome of the team. But after seeing Ndoye today, after seeing Stamenic today, we have a lot of options. We could even push Garcia a little bit further forward, just based off how those two defended. If you control the midfield, you control the game, and that is exactly what Ndoye and Eze did today. I thought it was a fantastic game from Ndoye, especially, and I have ripped him apart before. I've some of his performances. Like, oh, you're terrible. No, this and that. he's not a terrible player. He's a good player. But if we can get consistent performances like that, he can he can take that step forward, you know? He can be above Stamenic and above Garcia. But he's got to prove it consistently.
I
And
think he's
Mendilibar
found
doesn't see
his
that.
position. I think that's what the problem may have been.
Yeah.
He's found his right position. Because even last season, like at centre back, you'd see him coming on, or you see his aim, and there's that bit of that scoff,
Yeah.
that here we go, red card maybe, and he did get.
He was fantastic today.
Yeah, not today. Midfield man, like
He didn't take a step wrong. Like, let's see if I can. He won the most duels in the match with 11. He won 11 duels in the game, man. That is incredible. 84% pass accuracy, and he's playing in the midfield. That's way better than what he was doing at center back, where he had more time, and he was with Thrylos, who also liked to pass the ball, right?
Exactly.
Defensively, 2 out of 3 tackles, 1. 5 clearances, 3 with his head, 1 interception, 3 recoveries. He's only dribbled past once, and I'm pretty sure he recovered the ball after.
Most likely. Yeah, man. I think before this game, looking at the like the midfielders, personally, I was a bit worried that we didn't have the quality there. Like we had Hesse, we have Danny Garcia, we have a couple other players, Stamenic, who's also young. You know, we haven't seen much of him, so we don't know. But now Doi has like kind of gotten rid of that concern. Like if he can keep those performances up, especially against harder opponents, bigger teams, like dude, we're laughing. And with what you were saying with Danny Garcia, I kind of like what Olympiakos have been doing the last couple of seasons. So last season they brought in Ibora, older, very experienced. He's a bit of a intimidating figure. He's tall, big bloke. Danny Garcia is along the same. I really like that. I know we were a bit on the show as well. We were a bit like WTF with Ibora coming in, but later in the season, we knew why he was there straight away.
Yeah.
We knew. And, you know, Danny Garcia, experience as well. So I can't wait to see him playing. I think he's a bit hurt. He's got a knock, I think.
Yeah. I think it was him, Thrylos, and was there one more, or were those the only injuries today? I can't. We can take a look. Oh, it's not going to show me, huh?
No, they're not very.
I think those are the only 2, though. If I miss anybody, let me know. But Velde. We spoke a bit about him before. Another player that needs time. We've seen what he can do. Him and Martins love to run at defenders, and watching them operate on both sides, it'll be good. It'll be good. It'll be threatening, especially when you have a body like Yaremchuk, who can, you know, this guy is like a street light, man. This guy is tall. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if he's that great in the air. I'm sure he is, but if I'm mistaken, ignore this. But if they can, you know, chop it back to the left, back onto the right with the ball in, you know, they like to be a bit more direct, and I like that. Oftentimes you see wingers, they come into the club, ball out wide, back to the defender, work it around the other side, it comes back around. We don't want to see that. With Martins and Velde, we know we're getting dynamic play, dynamic wingers who can either pick a pass, or they can beat a defender and then put it in, or they can beat a defender and take a shot. It's nice to have that dynamic up there. So I'm happy with that.
Very, very excited to see where this team's going to go, man. Very excited.
Absolutely.
And I feel like a few years ago, like we didn't always get the most quality transfers, like that whole Onyakuru, Seba, Ojija, Oh, Ginger was alright. I'm not gonna lie, but still.
The one that just disappointed the heck out of me was, like you said, Onyekuru. I thought he was going to be quality, but he was quite the opposite. Man. Just not a fit for the club.
No, man. It's so even up till last year, it's so funny to think that some of the players that we've brought in, like,
oh goodness,
it was only last year where we had the best success in our history, where we had some of the worst players.
Say it. Are you talking about a Brazilian guy?
I'm talking. Is he Brazilian? Argentinian? What was he?
The guy with not the guy with the, is it skateboarding? Is it the skateboarding guy?
Is it?
Can't remember.
Are you
talking about Scarpa? You talking about Freire? I'm thinking about players like that.
I forgot about him.
For what reason? You know, Solbakken and the poor guys, man. They come to this club on loan for 6 months and then they go back. Like, think about the business. Okay.
Who came? Sorry, Will. Sorry, but
it's okay, man.
Who came into the office with their little folder and they're like, "Oh, Josh Bella, look at this guy." Like, what the fuck are you thinking? God Berana's coach. It was just, I think we lost Will there. Oh no. Will's frozen. Damn, man. We're just getting into it, Will. I've never done this on my own. This is a bit weird. Yeah, guys, for those who's watching, if you're watching, please send in comments. Some of the weirdest players you've seen, unless I'm frozen and I don't realize William is not the one frozen. He's just messaging me now. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I think we wanted to touch up on the transfer news, and any Olympiakos fan. Oh, he's just messaged me. His electrical went out. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is so awkward now. Let's just talk up on Andre Horta on the transfer. So, today, watching the Volos and Olympiakos game, the commentators love to stress repeatedly that he's not coming to the club. Now, knowing the past with journalists in Greece, you can't trust anything. These guys write the most hocus pocus of news just to get any reaction. So I never trust any news source unless it's 1, Fabrizio Romano, or 2, it's the Olympiakos page posting the welcome sign, the welcome picture. Sorry, I'm just trying to get Will back in. Will be back in just a moment, and I want his thoughts on this as well. So, anyway, regardless, so they're saying Andre Horta will not be coming back to Olympiakos. So now it's been a bit of a tipsy-turvy back and forth with Braga and Horta. Obviously, as we know, Horta does want to come back. Yes. However, we put the bid in, allegedly reported. We put the bid in, made the contract. They're happy. Horta's happy. Pen to paper, then immediately, less than a day. It was probably a couple of hours after the fact that he said he's joining. Braga said no. Then a few days. There he is. William.
Sorry, everybody. It's like I said, I moved. It's a bit of an older place, so the internet is currently out. I am currently.
I think the phone's out. Oh wait, were you there?
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, you cut out for a bit.
Well, It's an older house that I have moved into, so we've got a bit of electricity problems, I guess, and my computer went out.
Oh damn.
I'm trying my best to get it set up here. I hate doing it on my phone. It does not feel right.
That's all good, man. No stress. Will, I just started talking about transfers, so
Yes.
I started to dig into the whole Andre Horta situation. I want you to touch on it since you're half Portuguese and you're a bit more in touch with the league. And just as I was saying, it was reported that Olympiakos and Braga and Horta came to a deal to bring him back to Olympiakos, and then maybe hours later, it was taken away from us. He was not coming to Olympiakos, so maybe you can shed a bit more light on that situation.
Well, it's the classic Portuguese tactic. In Portugal, we do not sell players cheap. That is the rule of law. Like we do not we don't sell players cheap. Look at for Sporting Gyökeres. Fantastic striker. Everybody wants him, but he's still at Sporting and will probably be there for another year. And the reason they do this is because they think the longer you wait, the more the investment will. It'll be a better investment. They'll get more money. So I believe for the Andre Horta deal, there was an issue because I don't think we have the money for both him and Podence. And I know that Podence is our number one target. So if we bring in Podence for 10 million, like Wolves so clearly want that they won't even lower it under, then we won't be able to get Andre Horta, which is a shame because Andre Horta is a quality player and was a huge part of the success to last year. Mentality-wise, he is unbelievable. Like, he is a never give up, always fighting type of player. And to have him back in the squad, to have Podence back in the squad, that would be fantastic. Odds are that doesn't happen. Like I said, Daniel Podence we're looking at about 10 million for him. He might walk on a free next year and come back. That's always a possibility. So we might not lose him forever. He clearly wants to come back. So regardless, it'd be nice to have him in our 100th year. I have a feeling it will not happen because of the Portuguese mentality, because of that, hold off, we can make more money on them. It's a joke, and I hate it because there are players that need to leave these Portuguese clubs and go on to these big places to make some money, but odds are it doesn't happen. Alternatively, there are other players that we could bring in if the Podence deal doesn't go through, which could be risky because let's say we bring someone in, I don't know, the 29th, and then the 30th, Podence is sold to another club. That would crush just about every Olympiakos fan's heart. We know he wants to come back. It's a tough situation, man. It is. It's such a tough situation. But that's from a Portuguese perspective. It's all about getting the most money they can. They don't have an abundance of cash there in Portugal. I'll tell you, it's slim pickings out there, but it is what it is. Hopefully, we can bring Podence in. Andre Horta, I doubt it's going to happen. Unfortunately,
it's a real shame, as you said. He was such a key part of our success last season, and obviously is a player that could fill in a lot of gaps.
Definitely.
As well, especially with Fortuni's gone. But as we're saying, Chiquinho, give him some time. But it would be a massive punch to the gut if we don't see Podence.
Absolutely.
I don't think our transfer window is over. I think Olympiakos will fight tooth and nail for him. But
I'm gonna run this on my computer real quick. I'll be 1 second. All right.
all good,
All right.
all good. So there we have it, folks. That is the story with at least Andre Horta. The story is yet to be told with Daniel Podence, and it was see him play for Wolves today, last night, whatever, wherever you're from, against Arsenal. It puts some questions, put some doubts in your brain. But let's try not doubt anything. Yeah, he showed up. Who cares? Doesn't mean anything, man. Doesn't mean anything. We'd love to see Daniel Podence. Obviously, you don't go buy a house in Greece if you don't have the intention of moving back. He's been very vocal about wanting to come back. He didn't train, go to the USA with Wolverhampton on their pre-season tour there. Personally, if I owned a club and had a player not wanting to play for me, I might hold on to him. Welcome back, Will.
It's good to be back for a third time.
Third time in one episode.
Wow.
You're trying to catch up with us
So many
with all the
debuts
episodes.
for me. Holy, my goodness.
William, I was just saying, if I was the owner of the club and had a player that did not want to play there, I would not keep him. And obviously there is the risk, like you said, if someone comes in and buys Podence, but there's also why, as a club, keep him for the year so he leaves on a free. Try and make the money now.
Yeah.
You know what
100%.
I mean? So,
and it's also like, okay, he rejected Saudi and he rejected MLS. Okay, so it's obvious he still wants to compete. My thing is, if they get offers from other clubs, I don't think Podence is going to say, yes, let me go to this team. I think he's dead set on Olympiakos, which, if so, we can wait. We'll get him for free. If we have 10 million that we're ready to pay for him, but they want 12 or whatever it is, if we have 8 million, a decent left back, a center back, a winger, we can bring that in and then get him on a free at the end of the year, which would suck because, one, we don't get him for our 100th year. Two, we might lack his sort of quality in the attacking areas. That like you said, Fortuni's presence, where he's a game changer, can make something out of nothing. But if it's the price we got to pay, it is what it is. We need this club to be sustainable. We can't start bringing in 8 loan players, 3 youth players, and then sell everybody in January. We can't do that. This has to be a sustainable project under Mendilibar. I love the coach. I want him to stick around, but you have to make it sustainable.
It has to be a sustainable future.
Absolutely.
For Greek football in general, we can't just rinse and repeat what we've been doing. But I want your opinion. Sorry, Will.
That's all right.
Say if the verdict is we get Podence on the free next year, which obviously is a bum idea. I would hate that. But say that does happen. Do you then pursue Horta with the money?
That's a tough one, because Andre Horta and Braga, they will be looking at about 5 or 6 million for him. We got to remember this is a Conference League winner. And he was not only a Conference League winner, he was a vital part of that win. In that final game, Andre Horta was one of our best players. Those 2 crosses that he whipped in, if we had more aerial threats, those would have been 2 goals guaranteed. They were fantastic. He's a great on set pieces, creative player. Okay, he's smart. He's a smart player. He knows when to push forward. He knows when to stay back. He knows when to go in for tackles. Right. He's such a smart player, and tactically he fits what Mendilibar wants to do. He's not a big tactician, Mendilibar. He just wants quality players who understand what it means to be part of a team, right? He gives them patterns of passing to give us a better chance to get more quality opportunities in the final third. but he gives a lot of creative freedom to different players depending on who we're playing against. He's a pragmatic coach. Having Andre Horta would be like having a Swiss Army knife. You know, it would be fantastic, but the odds are it won't happen. That being said, if we don't get either of them, we have $8 million in the budget to work with. So it's kind of a win-win situation, if you ask me.
It's going to be an interesting end to the transfer window, I reckon. Very
absolutely, yeah.
There's always January as well, but you don't usually make a big.
Listen, I swear, if we go back to having a new team every transfer window, man, I won't be able to take it. We've done that for 3 years in a row now.
Oh, we've done that.
Thankfully, we brought in an actual coach.
Yeah.
Right? Like, can't do that.
I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. What are we in August? Got to wait and see.
You want to give some ratings and some MVP shouts and
for sure,
coach rating and stuff?
For sure. We'll just say the lineup and we'll give our
yes.
We'll start with Tsolakis. 7 out of 10. I think it was pretty threatened, but
well, you know what I'll do too is I have FootMob here pulled up, so I'm gonna give you a couple of the good ratings and a couple of the bad ratings when they come up. Okay.
Sweet as. So your Tsolakis,
7 out of 10 for sure. He didn't have too much to do, but when something came his way, he took care of it.
There you go. Rodinei.
Definitely. FootMob has him here as an 8.5 player of the game. I'm going to go the same.
Yeah, same.
I don't think player of the game, but 8.5 definitely.
He's a fair shout.
Absolutely.
Biancone.
Biancone going to give us 6. We've seen better from him.
Yeah.
And I think there's better to come from him, but today was just I don't think it was his day. What are you thinking?
6.
Yeah. You got a 6.8 here on FootMob.
Oh yeah.
One of the lower ones though, unfortunately, but
what do you do, man? Can't win more.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Pirola. I'm gonna go for 7.
I'm gonna go 8.
8, yeah.
I'm gonna go with an 8. He, we've already said all we need to say about this guy. Fantastic game today.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. Ortega.
I'm gonna give Ortega 7.
7 as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give him a 7.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's fair. He didn't muck up like anything crazy. You know?
Exactly. Doi. I'm gonna give him an 8.
Doi's getting an 8.
I rated him so much.
Absolutely. Great game.
Essay. I'm going 8 as well.
Essay, yeah, I'll give him an 8 as well. Yeah.
I liked Essay today. I really liked it.
Very, very mature performance from him.
Yeah,
very.
We got to hold on to him.
Good luck with that. That's $60 million to Leverkusen in what, 2 years, if that? Yeah, guaranteed.
Martins.
I'm gonna give him a 9.
9.
That is my MVP.
He's your MVP.
I'm sorry. That play where he beat the one guy and then threaded it through the guy's leg, got around him, and then got an elbow to the dome. Oh my God! I was like, "Holy shit, we're gonna be seeing this all year."
Yeah, like Europe, he's gonna be dangerous in Europe.
Holy man, fantastic! I love it. I love to see that.
Chiquinho, I'm going 7.5.
Yeah. I'll give him a 7.
I think he had probably a lot of pressure on him, but I think 7.5. Velde, I'm going 6.5.
I'll give him the same. Yeah, it's got him with a 7.2 here. I think that's very generous.
I think that'd be generous. Yeah.
Yeah, but 6.5 is fine.
Gastulas. My one's a bit brutal, and
Oh, I'm sorry for this kid, but I gotta give him a 5. It just
yeah,
he's gonna learn, he's gonna develop, and he's gonna get 8s, 9s, 10s, everything.
that's what we're hoping.
Yeah.
Again, like we said, off the ball movement was great, awareness was great. Just the control, the first touches, the first passes weren't there, but that comes with time, man. He's 17, dude. That's 17. Now we'll talk about the subs. Obviously, some we can't really judge, but Ayub El Kabi, he's rated 6.5. I think I'd go the same.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, he's an attacker that you feed. You can't expect him to sprint or
Exactly. Yeah.
do some razzle dazzle.
Yeah.
Stamenic,
I'm gonna give him a 7.
what was that?
Same with you.
Same with you.
All right.
Yeah. Masuras, 7.5. Even though we didn't say much, he's getting a just.
I'm gonna give him a 7 because the goal was fantastic.
It was clutch.
Fantastic goal. Yeah.
And Yaremchuk.
I'm not gonna rate him. We did not see anything from him today.
He was on for what, 8 minutes?
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. And most of it was spent cleaning up Kalogeropoulos, who went on the ground for 5 minutes with the hamstring.
Oh, God.
You're gonna see that a lot, man. Beginning of the year, it's everyone's getting their fitness back. But that's what we expected, man. There's no way people were expecting for guys like Ortega and guys like Velde to come out, hat trick, 3 assists, 2 assists,
Right.
10 out of 10 performance.
Exactly, right, man.
Yeah.
I think that was the entire lineup.
Yeah.
I actually have one question for you before we wrap it up because we've gone over an hour here.
Yes. Yeah.
Where would you fit and where would you play Paskalakis?
It's a tough one because his shot stopping ability is undeniable. He's a good shot stopper. I'd play him in the cup. I'd play him in games where Tsolakis needs a rest. Let's say we play Manchester United and then Nice. Tsolakis is going to need a rest. That's a lot of pressure for a young kid. Let's put Paskalakis in against, let's say Lamia or Galitea or someone like that, like you said, bottom half. So
For sure. I'd like to see him. I don't want to see what we usually see where it's one goal.
Yeah.
Because for Tsolakis, what could pressure him more than what happened last year? And look what he overcame.
Yes.
So, as long as we see Paskalakis in the league against the Lamiers.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, absolutely. And Mendilibar, what would you give him today, Mendilibar?
I'm going to give him maybe a 9.
Yeah?
And I'll tell you why. Because he had the Archivia to just have a different lineup out.
Yeah. I think he wanted to try some things.
Yeah, he wanted to try it, put on a young bloke, put Doy in a different position. And just his antics on the sideline.
Oh,
he's just so fun to watch.
But you know what? What you see from him is all experience and sheer knowledge of the game and knowledge of a player's psyche. When he put Kostulas in the starting 11, I was like, good for him. Let's see how he does.
Yeah.
He saw that it wasn't working. He took him off. He put on El Gabi. Nice and simple. That's it. He probably put an arm around Kostulas and said, listen, kid, you're going to get a lot more chances. Don't be hard on yourself. That's all you have to say to the guy.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Stamenic. We probably gave him a pat on the shoulder. Good job. You won the ball for us. It's a little bit, you got to do better on the ball, but we'll work on that in training.
For sure.
Whatever. So I can't complain. 9 for me.
Exactly right, man.
No.
Exactly right. Well, I think that about wraps it up, William.
Yes.
Do you have anything else to add?
Yes. I have one last thing.
Yes.
So, Conference League.
Yeah.
That win is probably the top 3 happiest days of my life. So 1 year ago today, I was in Greece, and I watched our 1-0 victory against Genk, where Lodine and Fortunis combined for a goal in like 40 seconds. And then I watched Atromitos 4-0, Kukaricki 3-1. And it was always going to be a special year for me because I'd watched the team. I didn't know how special it was going to become. Maccabi Tel Aviv, we used them as toilet paper. And then to go on and beat Fenerbahce, who was our toughest opponent in the Conference League. I hate to give them props, but I will 100% give them props. But we did our job. We beat Aston Villa. We killed Aston Villa. Okay, that was not a good team. Aston Villa was like
it's England, man.
I don't even know what that was. They were terrible, and El Kabi absolutely murdered both their goalies. So to see that going on, and to this be the same team that I watched 8 months ago, I was in shock. I could not believe it, and the quality that Mendilibar was getting out of these guys was incredible. The final, me, my brother, and a couple other friends and stuff, we went to a bar, and oh my God, it was incredible. When in your first however many years of being an Olympiakos fan did you think you would witness that? Okay, I don't think it crossed my mind. I thought, maybe a semifinal, a final. It's going to be tough to win it. All these teams with millions and millions of cash. Aston Villa, who spend like 300, 400 million on 2 players. And then you have us picking up El Kabi for free. And he does that in the Conference League, okay?
The best things in life are for free.
We absolutely, man. We made the best out of what we had. And we were smart about our choices. And we're going to continue to be smart about our choices because now that we've had that taste of success, we're going to want more. So next year it's going to be Europa. Year after it's going to be Champions League. We're going to want to get to these competitions and we're going to want to freaking win them. And I know that this team can. We now have the following. We now have the eyes of the world. We won 2 European trophies in 1 year. One with the youth team, one with the senior team. We got to be the first team to ever do that. I think we are. There's no doubt. It was fantastic work, and can't thank Mendilibar enough. Can't thank Marinakis for bringing him in enough. These decisions that they made to bring in some of these players, David Carmo. Thank you so much. The biggest thank you of all to that Portuguese coach that we had for a month that went back to Braga because he brought in great transfers, and thank God he was as bad as he was, man. No offense to the guy, he's going to do great in Braga, but I can't thank him enough for getting fired. I know it's rude to say that, but seriously, he brought in great transfers.
Yeah, he brought in great players, but
it is what it is, man. Certain managers are good at certain things. He brought that guy in at the right time.
For sure.
Could you imagine that happened a month later or whatever? You know what I mean? And we got knocked out by Ferencváros, who again, not a good team, but would have lost to them. But Mendilibar turned it around with the players that he was given. And he did a fantastic job, and the guys did a fantastic job. Solakis, I'm happy for all these Greek players that got to finally live out their dream of winning the European title with their boyhood club, with the club that they have supported with every little bit of themselves. Fortunis, Masuras. It was fantastic to see, and I couldn't be happier, man. Again, May 29th, one of the best days of my life. Absolutely. But that's all I got to say about it, guys. I'm just happy to have lived through it. So,
for sure, dude. Yeah, I think we're all with you when you say best day of your life. Top 3.
Absolutely.
Easy.
Absolutely.
And that definitely should catapult us Sorry, someone's just screaming at the back.
I
If you heard that.
did a little bit. I thought it was a cat meowing, man.
Oh man, look, I've got the neighbors are from Costa Rica, so they're a bit.
Oh, okay, yeah. The South Americans, man, they like to, or Central South Americans. A lot of people like us, but
They're a bit. They like to party.
oh, yeah, of course, who
At
does?
9 a.m. on a Sunday. but,
Hey.
but yeah, look. Hence why this transfer season is so key, because last season should catapult us into more massive things, and we can only hope our Europa League campaign is successful. We don't want to see us going down. We don't want to see us going out in the group stage. We want to go further than the 16. If we could go, we can. Why not? Hell no. But
I want these guys to rise up to the challenge. That's what I want for this season. I want us to go toe to toe with the Man Uniteds, the Nices, the Marseilles, like all these teams. I want us to go toe to toe with them. I want to show some passion. I want to show everybody who Olympiakos is, European champions. Okay,
that's it.
That's who we are. So
beautifully said, Will.
Yes,
and
sir.
I think on that note, we'll leave it at that. We're excited to see where this season's going to take us, and on to the next game against Galicia.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining. For those who have, please like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, which has been increasing in the numbers recently, thanks to William as well. Doing all that stuff over there. So yeah, and obviously we're on TikTok if you want to see some memes. There are some memes over there.
Good ones with that, I'll tell you.
But yeah, apart from that, thanks for joining, and till next time, take care.